Our stumble bum drill is a drill we use to practice ball security and also to practice keeping balance while falling or being stumbled while running the football. The object of this is to keep your balance and to use an offhand to keep your balance and push off the ground while running the football. We'll put 8 cones on this drill, 5 yards apart and 10 yards wide from each other, staggering them on the sideline. We'll switch the ball in between each cone, and as we round each cone, we'll put our inside hand down, the hand that's closest to the cone as we round it. After we round the cone, we'll switch the ball, and then we'll put a palm down as if we have just stumbled after we switch the ball, and push up. We want to have our eyes to the sky and push off the ground to maintain our balance, and we'll do this until we complete rounding each cone. So in this shot here, you'll see that the way we train this is we make sure that we put our whole hand on the ground, not just the fingertips, but emphasize pushing off the ground with the palm of your hand and keeping the ball, the nose of the football, facing the sky as you lose your balance. You fall to the ground. A lot of times guys will try to use their off or the ball hand as a balancer, and they'll extend the ball and get the ball knocked out. The ball is most acceptable to come out when you lose your balance and you go into the ground to maintain your balance. You'll lose ball security, but we want to maintain good ball security as we go to the ground. So we'll start the drill with the ball on the outside along the sideline. We'll sprint to the first cone and put their inside hand down. Naturally, the back foot will go up or off to the side. But as you can see here, the kid has his whole palm on the ground, and he has good leverage. He snaps his head up and maintain balance. So we'll switch the ball in between each cone, and as we get to the cone and round it, we're going to put our inside hand and put it down again to maintain balance. This is not a full speed drill. You want to do this about 3/4 speed so the kids actually can get their hand on the ground. If they go full speed, they'll never be able to put their palm on the ground. So here it's coming off of, say you get tripped up coming through the hole. Now instinctively you'll put your off hand down to maintain your balance. Now it's very important that you see here that the ball does not come out of the back. You're not able to see the ball as the kids do the drill. You want to make sure that as they go to the ground that they're not exposing the ball out the back of their elbow, being away from their rib cage. So when we go to the ground, I want to emphasize pointing that ball to the sky like this kid is doing here. You can't see the ball coming out of the back. He has his palm on the ground, using his off legs as balancing. Get the whole hand on the ground. Roll that nose of the football to the sky as you round each cone. So here's a better job. Kids actually rolling the football now, getting the nose of the football up and not having it exposed out of the back. This is our stumble bum drill. We use this to coach balance, to maintain your balance while being stumbled, and also to make sure we have proper ball security as we go to the ground and push back up, get into running form. The stiff arm drill and the cutback drill are drills we use to sharpen the senses of the running back as what move to use on an oncoming defender. You're basically going to read the angle of the defender and use a stiff arm or a cutback move to gain more yards as the defender approaches. What we're going to do is place 2 cones 20 yards apart and have partners during this drill. One ball carrier and one to be the defender. The defender's pursuit angle is key, as it will determine what form we will use for the running back to elude the contact from the defender. If the defender is behind the runner, he will use a stiff arm. If he's overtaking a runner and has a high pursuit angle, we'll use a cutback. So with this drill, we'll have the first 2 guys up, and the defender will be about 10 yards away, and the running back will be running down the sideline. Based on the angle of the defender, he will either use a stiff arm or use a cutback. Here the defender's angle is to his back hip, so he's going to use a stiff arm to keep the defender away from his hip and keep him away from tackling. It's key that when we use a stiff arm, that we place the hand in the chest, not the face. We want to aim for the chest, right above the numbers, right below the chin. Move a hard surface. You got to punch a hard surface. That if you punch the face mask, a lot of times the head will move and the body will continue to come at the running back, causing him to be tackled by the defender. So we teach stiff arming the body to move the body. We're really not trying to move the defender. What we're trying to do is move the running back laterally away from the defender. So we're going to push off, and we want to push off and use our momentum to get away from that defender. If you push the head, you really can't gain momentum off the push to get away from the defender. So here you see all the angles are attacking the back hip of the running back. So the running back uses stiff arms to avoid the defender. In this angle, the defender is overtaking the running back. So he's upfield, he won't be able to use a stiff arm. So now he cuts back on the defender to avoid contact. Here's a couple examples in game footage of how we use stiff arms properly and the proper time to use a stiff arm. Here, the defender's coming at a pursuit angle where he's going to hit the back hip of the running back. So he uses stiff arm to gain distance away from the running back. Here we miss a little bit with our placement of the hand, but it's enough to get us an extra 15 yards after contact. Gain a first down. Here's an excellent example of both drills in practice in a game situation. We use a stiff arm in the chest to move our body away from the defender. And as we're running down the sideline, we get an angle of a defender over pursues, so we cut back on that defender, allow us to gain extra yards after the intersection. So this is our sideline stiff arm drill. Our sideline drill is a drill we use to teach running backs how to take on defenders approaching along the sideline. This drill is used by placing 4 hand shields on the sideline, 5 yards apart. You have players holding the bags along the sideline, facing the sideline, with a running back approaching, sprinting down the sideline, attacking the defenders with a forearm shiver or a rip to avoid contact as much as possible, to continue his momentum down the sideline. On this drill, it's important that we attack the bags by the running back and not just run flat down the sideline avoiding contact. The running back must lower his inside arm, which faces the blocking shields, and rip with that arm to avoid contact with the bag with the front of his chest. You really want to make contact with the forearm in the back of the shoulder as you're running by the defender. Avoiding, you want to give a small area to hit for the defender, small as possible. You put the ball on the sideline arm, so you can use your inside arm as a weapon. So here we have the bags facing to the sideline with the running back up. He's going to attack the defender holding the bag with a rip and a roll of the shoulder. Based on the number of kids that you have in the drill, you can use 3 bags or you can use 4 bags. A lot of times we'll use 3 bags because we have 5 to 6 backs at a time doing the drill. So you just want to have on the outside arm, sideline arm, and rip with fist to the sky and finish the drill at the cone. Here's some shots from game footage where the running back is trapped on the sideline, can't really cut back, so he feels the only option he has is to use the sideline drill. Here he is. He's going to take his inside arm and rip through. He actually gets an extra 7 yards after contact just by ripping through, using his leg drive to push the defender. Here's another shot of the sideline drill in practice. Here he's going to attack the defender with his inside arm, lowering his shoulder. The defender's actually going to have his helmet behind him, He's going to rip through his lead arm and bounce off the defender, stand in bounds, and run it down the sideline. The sideline drill we use every day to emphasize the technique we use to break tackles along the sideline. Uses balance and physicality to stay in bounds when a defender's trying to knock you out of bounds. Our hit and spin drill comes off the same setup that we use for our sideline drill. You'll have bags on the sideline. This time we'll have them 10 yards apart instead of 5 yards. The skill we're going to use is spinning off a contact or breaking a tackle. You'll have guys holding the shields, facing the runner, and the runner's going to attack the defender, spin off naturally in either direction. Now, key coaching points for this is you don't want to overcoach this move. It should feel natural to the running backs. You just basically want to spin away from pressure with the forearm shiver with the free arm. If the defender attacks the ball arm, you want to lean in so he's not hitting the ball, but actually hitting his shoulder. So you're not any adverse contact with the football. You want to avoid as much contact with the football as possible. Here, they're attacking them with the ball arm, so they're going to hit with the shoulder and spin off naturally. You really want to make sure that running backs get their knees up and get their feet out of the way of each other so they don't trip. So they want to have a high knee as they spin out of this. And you want to spin directly back upfield. You don't want to spend a lot of time spinning laterally. This is a great job of seeing the knee come up, getting that foot behind the defender, and bursting upfield. A lot of times you get a lot of younger guys that will spin laterally and actually go sideways, allowing the defender to have some make-up ground and have a pursuit angle. If you step directly behind the defender, like in this shot here, the defender has no shot to come back and make a play on you later. Here's an excellent shot of spinning off a contact behind, not gaining a lot of lateral width, but getting that field as soon as possible. Like I say, you don't want to overcoach this drill. You don't want to overcoach the technique. You just want to have the kid spin naturally off of contact. It's also important that you monitor the ball at all times during this drill. You want to make sure that keep 5 points of contact, get the ball high and tight, don't allow any air with the rib cage in the football, keep that elbow tucked so it can't get hit from behind coming out of the spin. Ball security is paramount with this drill. It's a good job here, keeping his balance. Got to make sure that they get that knee high so they don't trip over themselves. Get their feet out of the way and burst upfield. Here's some shots in practice of making sure we have contact before we spin. So he's leaning in, he has contact, he spins off of the contact. Now here he goes a little wide, so he doesn't get behind a defender with his feet. The defender's able to come back and make a play. Here's a shot of a good hit in the contact. So we lower our pads. We don't avoid contact, we actually hit through contact and spin naturally off of it. Here's another good shot of a good contact by the running back and a natural spin off of it, avoiding the defender and getting yards after the play. And this is our hit and spin drill. Our two-gap press drill is a drill we use to teach the running backs the proper technique of being patient while running zone plays. This drill was created to eliminate or to counteract two-gap defensive linemen or fallback linebackers. We use this drill during our practice periods with a big cut dummy or a hand shield with a operating the hand shield. He'll show his hat in one gap and then snap his hat to the opposite gap, forcing the running back to make his cut as late as possible without jumping into the gap that the defender's helmet is in. Big problem we've had with two-gap defensive linemen are that our running backs cut back too early on the zone plays, and allows the defensive lineman to actually throw the offensive lineman and make the tackle, as you see here, for no gain. Just the running back doesn't have much patience right here. He's running to open gaps without setting up his blocks and allowing his offensive lineman to work for him. We also have a problem with the fallback linebackers doing the same thing, just at the second level. As you see, the running back cuts back 4 yards deep in the backfield, and the linebackers just mimic his path and fall back and don't give our offensive lineman a chance to block them, so they make the play. So with this drill, what we're doing is the defender will show his hat in one side of the bag and snap it to the other, or he'll leave his hat in that gap there. But what the running back has to do is get as close to the bag as possible and then make his cut as late as possible. As you can see, the defender shows his gap. The running back has to cut opposite the helmet. We really don't want to have any stutter steps on this because we don't want the defender to fool us and also get us in the hole by wasting time. This level of the pursuit comes very fast, so we want to make sure we're fluid and patient to the cut. But once we see which way that guy's going, we break it off and burst through the hole. It's okay if these guys brush the bag. That's just showing that they're making the cut as late as possible and actually brushing the bag a little bit. It's real important that the guy holding the bag mixes it up, doesn't get the same read each time, because each play that we run has a different look and different feel to it each time. So here's real important that the running back makes it break as late as possible. We don't want to have any stutter stepping. We want to try to eliminate that with our tempo to the bag, and then we want to burst past the bag once he decides which side he's going to. So here you to see the running back being very patient, not making any cuts in the backfield. He does have a little stutter, but he burst off of it, which helps him make up for the fact that he's stuttering here in the hole. So he lets his offensive lineman get on blocks. He allows the defense to set and decide which gap they're going to take, and then he just makes the cut opposite. He feels a little trouble backside, so he bursts to the front side gap for a big successful play. Same thing here. He actually has some linebackers moving around, not sure exactly where they're going to go. He has pressure on his right side, but continues to press the line of scrimmage. He actually makes a cut and bumps off the center here a little bit as he makes his cut, which isn't a bad thing. That means he's really pressing the hole, and he bursts downfield for a touchdown. All courtesy of being patient